People say I ain't no good, and I'm crazy as a loon. Cause I shave my head in the morning, pick guitar in the afternoon. Just like old Chief and Charlie, I like to lay around in the shade. Well, I ain't got no money, but you better believe I got it made. Cause I ain't asking nobody for nothing if I can't get it on my own. If you don't like the way I'm living, just leave this bald-headed country boy alone.
What's up, folks? Thank y'all for tuning into the Josh Terry podcast. I want to thank all of our sponsors that make this show possible, but especially today, we want to focus on one. It's our only lifetime sponsor we have right now, but Project K9 Hero. They're involved in everything that we try to do. I love everything that they do. Sadly, this week we were supposed to be in Nashville with them, but because of weather and because of another engagement that I just cannot reschedule, we're going to miss it this year. We went to the first one, but we missed the last 2 years. We also have some other guests in the studio with us, but I want to introduce you to both of our friends. One's in, I guess you're at your ranch right now, aren't you, Jason?
Yeah, we're down here at our Project K9 Hero Rehab Rehoming Facility in Tennessee, 177-acre sanctuary to keep these heroes alive when they have no place to go after their service.
And, dude, I appreciate everything that you do, and I'm ready for you to meet our guys and our girls real fast. But, Mr. Stephen Cochran, I want you to introduce yourself and drop a little bit of info about you real fast before we get started.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm a United States Marine veteran, singer-songwriter here in Nashville. I've been blessed to have a few songs on the radio. But here recently, we started running a non-for-profit called Stop 22, where we take injured singer-songwriters who've had some success and some that are upcoming. We let them go on the road and kind of share their stories through songs and explain some of the songs that you may have heard on the radio or may have not. It's called the Stop 22 Tour. We travel with the GWAT Wall of Remembrance. So it's the only moving wall memorial that we've got to Iraq and Afghanistan veterans. And we go on the wall on the tour with that. And then recently, we just launched our first ever nonprofit veteran-owned record label, record management company called Label 22, which we're blessed to have Jason on, Project K9 Hero on for our country radio seminar show February 29th. So, man, just trying to link all these shields together of all these great military organizations, everybody working in their own lane, trying to do what we do best, coming together, trying to defeat all the things that we have in the veteran, plight together.
Well, I appreciate y'all letting me be involved, not being a veteran whatsoever, kind of being the piece of shit of the group. I very much appreciate it. Stephen, it's a pleasure to meet you, boss. I'm going to introduce you to the folks we got in-house with us. Miss Brooklyn. She is also a veteran. She's one of our good buddies. She's got a big social media personality and presence. And I figured we have her come along tonight. And that way she can learn a little about Project K9 Hero and your organization too, Stephen. And then my buddy who's been on a bunch of shows with us lately, Mr. Cam Harden. He just got off of Big Brother, America's Favorite, who's also a veteran. That's kind of more of what we'll focus on tonight with him instead of, just being a reality TV star all of a damn sudden. But just want to thank y'all for coming and hanging out. And I'm excited that we get to be a part and promote this coming up Thursday and your event now next month at Whiskey Mint. So Jason, how about we start off and you kind of tell Brooklyn and Cam, who don't know, they know the meat and taters about Project K9 Hero, but you got a new group of folks to talk to. Why don't you kind of explain to them a little bit about what you do and the event this coming up Thursday?
Yeah, first and foremost, thank you. We're a national nonprofit, and we take care of retired police canines and military working dogs. So these are dogs that, don't have a home to go to in retirement, aggressive issues, handler can't take them, family issues. We have a facility here where we keep about 10% of the dogs in our program. We try to get them back out there into the world where they're going to live a good retirement. And the other 90% stay with their handler, because a lot of people know that dogs stay with their handler after they serve in the military or the police, but we help with their medical care. They where they get down lymphoma, they get down cancer, other issues. A lot of people don't know when you leave the military, they don't have a VA program like we have when we leave the police department. It's on their handler. And me as a former handler and, someone who served in the military, served in civilian police and served in federal government, I know for a fact we don't get extra money to take care of that. So it gets put on them. And I don't want to see them go into personal financial debt or hero go without. specifically a canine hero. So I started the organization in 16, took $500 in my pocket, was still in the government. I just worked hard day by day trying to build it up, and here we are in 2024, approaching the $20 million mark total raised. About $4.5 million the last couple of years each, and doing great events like this coming up Thursday, Nashville Palace, Performance for Paws, 3rd annual fundraiser. Over 25 artists, live auction, silent auction, and some of our heroes are going to share their stories of how they served our nation, protected our communities, and now how our organization is protecting them.
It's a stacked ass lineup this year too. The past 2 years have been good, but dude, you stacked it this year.
Well, we got Steven, and I think that put us over the top.
Damn right it did. Steven, how did y'all get involved with Project K9 Hero?
Man, so I'll tell you how me and Jason met. It's a weird story. I was friends with the late Ralphie May, comedian. Everybody knows Ralphie was a great comedian, and he was doing a set at Zany's here in Nashville. My buddy Adam Dredd, who's actually the MC for our event, February 29th, is a lawyer here in Nashville, and he invited me out to see Ralphie. So I'm watching Ralphie. I go to the bathroom, and while I'm in the bathroom, everybody likes to be approached while you're in the bathroom. It's always fun. It's never awkward at all. Like never. So, I'm using the bathroom, and Jay's like, "Hey, man, I think I know you." And so we became friends since then, man. I've watched him build this thing, and it's been great to watch him do what he does for these veterans with 4 legs. Because like he said, you come home, we have the VA, and whether you like the VA or not, it's there, and it's there to help us, but they don't have that. And so, you think about it, these handlers, they were serving their country. They got their time in, and then they come home, but yet they're still indebted to taking care of their 4-legged counterpart that they served with. That should be taken care of. I'm just glad Jason's there to do it. And I'm so proud of him. I love the dude. So, and plus he got a guy I served with working with him, Willie down there. Willie Hansen's helping him too. So I love Willie, and it's good to see him working with Jason too.
Yeah. Jason and me kind of have the same meeting each other. Loud night at Live Oak. Hasten was like, "Hey, y'all two got to meet each other. Y'all, he would be great for the show." I think that was almost 3 years ago now, and it's a pleasure working with Jason and everything that they do since then.
Me and Steven go back. That was 2013. I was still in the government, and just happened to be there taking a show at Zany's. I was living outside of DC, and there's a lot more to it with Steven and I. Not only do we both serve in the military, and we're both connected with a lot of veteran nonprofits and everything we do, but we both have roots back home in Michigan, just outside of Detroit. Almost to the exact same suburb of Detroit, Oakland County, Waterford, Michigan, where I went to elementary school. So, we have a lot of hometown, and we do a lot of events back in Detroit. Both of us do. We're going to do some stuff here this summer. I'm being honored by the Red Wings on February 10th on my birthday as the salute to service. The Pistons have honored us. Do so many events back home in Detroit. So always trying, even though we live in Tennessee now, mainly because it's a much nicer place to live. We're always trying to give back to our hometown.
Yeah, it's funny how everybody all of a sudden on Sunday became a Lions fan, by the way.
Dude,
not us.
All of a
sudden. We were actually on the phone with each other about to cry last night because it's 2 kids. My grandparents lived where I spent all my summers. I spent every summer in Michigan with my grandparents, where they were one of those Kentucky transplants that went up to work for GM. And so I could hear, we were too poor to go to the Silverdome, but we could hear Barry Sanders breaking big runs. So to get this far as an adult, I told my kid last night, I was like, "Hey, man, you only had to do 14 years as a Lions fan. I've done 44 years of this bull crap." So finally, we get some relief to get to see it come to maybe a Super Bowl, hopefully a Super Bowl, but at least I'll take this right now. I'll take this feeling.
Don't try to get greedy now. Me and Cam are both Georgia fans. So we grew up here in Georgia. So it took us from 81 it took us 40 years.
Yeah.
We never saw it. I'm 36 and he's what are you, 2 years younger than me?
Yeah, and we didn't see the Braves win one since '95. So
so we had to take a hot ass minute.
And the Falcons. I don't even want to talk about it. So
they're never gonna fucking win.
They're gonna get Belichick. Let's go.
And we had Stafford for 12 years, which came from Georgia. And my buddy used to joke around all the time. He'd go, "Man, I can't wait till next season so we can ruin some other kid's dream." Because
I was upset when the Lions got rid of Stafford, and then he went to the Rams, did big things, and now Goff's there, and I'm like, man, What a storyline. You can't beat like I'm
Dude.
pulling for the Lions now. I just am.
Yeah, I
Dude,
don't know.
anything-
I don't know how you can't at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just happy. We're in no man's land. So like I said, I didn't know what to do with my hands last night. I was just jumping up and down. Neighbor
Yeah,
thought
we
I was
don't-
weird.
We
Well, I
don't
thought
win much. We don't know what to do with it.
I
Yeah.
thought I was going to be a Bills guy this playoffs, and then last night got my heart broke on that. Which I ain't a Bills fan, but it was just like now I know who I'm rooting for the rest of the.
I mean, I was
damn time.
pulling for Leonard.
Is Leonard on the Bills?
Yeah, yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
No, what's funny where we're from, the three most popular people, whether it's social media or real life, are me, Cam, and a guy named Leonard Floyd, who is a defensive end who went to Georgia, won a Super Bowl with
Rams.
with the Rams, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now he's with the Bills.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he was even still playing.
Yeah. Hell, playing. He was an integral part of that defense this year. Interested what he does this coming up season.
Well, Steven, let me ask you real fast. Because I know you've got some songs in your arsenal. What are you doing? Because now I can con Jason to come into it. What are you doing February the 7th?
I'll actually be in Michigan. I'm going up to watch them honor Jason with the Red Wings. We've paired with, like I said, we're trying to get these organizations linked together. There's a great organization in Michigan called Vet Life that we're starting to work with. That I played their Vet Fest last year, and so I think that like he said, we're pairing all these Michigan organizations together, but looking at what we can do nationally, and go out and just spread out what we do. So you have a lot of these major organizations that want to concentrate on trying to fix everything as a whole, but they lose what their niche is. And that's kind of what we're doing. We're just trying to make a series of organizations who really are good at what they do.
I got
Yeah,
you.
I want to add something to that, Josh, real quick. Especially for Brooklyn and Cam in the room, man, I got a philosophy. If veterans just focused on helping other veterans, the whole community would be great. If every veteran focused, how can I help this veteran or agency or this veteran organization, and all of us veterans just helped each other, we would never have a problem in the world.
Well,
That's
that's
so
why I
true.
do my best to try to bring y'all together too. It's because like y'all, there's stuff that y'all went through that I'll never understand. But I've heard Cam tell stories. I've heard Brooklyn tell stories. I've heard a lot of our vet friends tell stories. That's why we try to do our best to mash up the good ones like y'all.
Yeah, Steven's got a great song out called "When a Hero Falls," which is one of my favorite, and maybe we can get him played at the event on this Thursday. But it's just a great song from his time when he was deployed in combat, which really rings true to me every time I hear it.
Steven, do you work at all with creative vets?
I do, man. I got a funny story about how I met Casper when Richard first came to town. Oh, dude, I love Richard. And when he first came to town, I was in a rough spot. I was one of the first combat vets that signed a record deal out of Iraq and Afghanistan, and so I went to just live my dream. And man, at that point, I would have signed over anything to go live the dream. And so I was one of those guys that got maybe caught up in some contracts or something maybe I shouldn't have been a part of. And so Casper came and was talking about starting Creative Vets. A good buddy of ours that of mine and Jason's, Travis McVeigh, who owns Heroes Vodka.
Uncle Travis.
Yeah, he had said, "Hey man, I got this Marine coming to town. He's starting this non-for-profit, and he wants to meet with you to kind of like pick your brain on how he think you could help him out in music." And I'm in the middle of a lawsuit with the record labels. I'm getting hammered for millions of dollars and all this other stuff that I'd never had, and so I was a little bit deterred at the music business, to say the least. So Richard comes into Tin Roof to meet with me, and I'm about 7 whiskeys in by the time he gets there. So I'm real good and lubed up and ready to just let it fly. And he's like, "Man, what advice do you got to give to me to start an organization in music?" And I don't remember this, but he told me like 6 years later. I turned and looked at him. I said, "Run, motherfucker, run. They're going to steal your goddamn soul." Thank God he didn't. Thank God he didn't.
Hey, they're a special breed over there. Anybody like y'all, Richard, Kyle, all of them over there. There's only a few. There's only a few organizations I'll work with. Project K9 Hero, obviously. Mission 22. We've got a branch down here that we're close with Mr. Ken Bohannon down at Fort Stewart. And Creative Vets. And now it sounds like we got another one. And Blazer 88. Blazer 88 is a local group of guys that are up in I can't remember where they're from, but they've been on the show. I want to connect, especially Jason, with them. Man, I'm telling you, it's great organization that they're starting up there. But it's like Jason said a while ago, it's a group of guys that are wanting to help out other veterans, and they're wanting to do it for the right reasons. And there's something special about when people come together, vets come together and try to look after themselves.
Well, and it's so weird that you brought up Creative Vets because, like, just a few days ago, me and Casper were texting because of what we were talking about with Vet Life up in Michigan. They have this large concert they put on called Vet Fest.
Yeah.
And so Jason's going to be there. And then Creative Vets has a mobile songwriting trailer that's going to be operational by then. They're going to bring it up, and some of the Stop 22 veterans are going to write songs for veterans there on the spot in their songwriting trailer. So again, man, just linking these groups together.
Speaking of which, we got to talk to Chris Bickle. I ain't talked to him in a long time.
Oh yeah, have y'all met Chris is it Bickle?
Bickle, yeah.
I always say his name wrong. With Creative Vets.
He's an operator. I mean,
he'll make you run through a fucking wall.
He's done some stuff, and now he just wants to give everything he's got to writing songs for veterans and writing down their story. So, yeah, we got to give him a call, Josh.
We definitely can. So Jason, tell us, since everybody's kind of got a little bit more insight to both of y'all's organization, tell us a little bit more about Thursday. And because I know, like, later tonight, the three of us are going to go on live and try to bring some awareness, try to get some people to project-k9hero.org to make donations and other stuff tonight. Just kind of give them a little bit more about information about the performance for Paws this week.
Yeah, so it's going to be Thursday at the Nashville Palace. It's our third year there. Like you said, we've had some great artist lineup in the past. This year is exceptional as well. And it's about bringing music to our mission. And doors open at 5. We're going to have just a couple artists up there kind of playing as the doors open. At 6, the show officially starts. National anthem. Miss Danielle Peck from Sirius XM's Y2 Countries, our host for the second year in a row. And Danielle and I are old friends, go back a long time, and she does a great job of speaking for our nonprofit and donating her time. And then we're going to start off with the first round. Steven and a couple other artists will be up there at 6. And then, we have about an hour of music, a break, an hour of music, and goes to 10. But in those breaks is what's really important. We're going to have special guests and K9 heroes come on, and we're going to tell their stories that are going to be heroic. Videos we're going to show where they were injured in the line of duty, shot in the line of duty, paralyzed in the line of duty, and how our organization's paying their medical bills for life. You're going to meet those heroes. You're going to get up, see and hear from them what Project K9 Hero means to them. And some of these dogs we spend $25,000, $30,000 on, annually. And if it wasn't for us, they'd be dead. If it wasn't for us, that handler might be in $30,000 credit card debt. But here we are helping them, and that's what it's really about, And there's going to be the silent auction, the live auction, and the music's going to be great. And, if you go down the line of artists, we know Jesse Keith Whitley's on there and a bunch of other people. We got Tyler Braden on this year. Just some great names. Carolyn Don Johnson's gonna be on there. And not only is the music going to be great, but it's all to point towards the mission and the cause. And that's why I spend just as much time focusing on these dog stories, because a lot of people just don't know. Before we met, Josh, you didn't know, and I think maybe before, Steven's been watching me since day one. I mean, we became friends in 2013, so he knew me when I was still in the government and kind of was able to watch me start it from 0 to now. But even part of my mission is to speak with Congress and put bills and legislation, and I work on that every day. And, we're much more than an organization that just takes in money and pays a dog bill. I'm trying to change the way these heroes are treated for life, generations to follow when we're all gone. And so that's really my thing. And anyone who spent 2 seconds with me knows that. But we're gonna make sure that people there really know it. And the big thing this year is we took it to another level in corporate sponsorships. Over 40 corporate sponsors, already over 6 figures raised in corporate sponsorships before we even start the show. And if you guys know, I know you do events and I know you do sponsors and fundraising. 6 figures pre-show is a big deal. 40 sponsorships. Sonic Automotive, title sponsor this year. Lamar Advertising out of Nashville. We got our billboards up. I think Steven might have seen a few. We're just killing it in that area. And that was my focus from day one, corporate sponsorships. And we couldn't do it without all those. So I'm excited. I know it's going to be a great show. Anyone who's been before knows that. And if you haven't, we got a few tables left, a few sponsorship opportunities left. Again, project-k9hero.org. You can click on top of the website, and boom, you can probably still get in. I might have to call it sold out here in the next day or two. We are appearing live on Circle TV on Cody Coffee and Country in the morning there. Me and Carolyn Don Johnson and K9 Ubi Thursday, and we might have to mark it sold out before that, depending on because I don't want to overcrowd it, but it's going to be amazing.
And also too, what I've always thought that's been cool about it is you have kind of mixed it together with some of the dogs that are popular on social media too.
Yep. Yeah. So Mattis will be there. We helped save Mattis. He had bloat about $8,000. We paid all his bills when he got returned. But you go to TikTok and look up K9 Mattis. He has 5.5 million followers. Probably more followers than any dog that I know of in the world. And not only that is, we're going to be doing a promotion. We have, I have it right here to show you guys. Mattis, we started his own Huggle Hound. We're going to have 100 of these there, and they're going to be for sale, $100 a piece. And, hopefully we'll sell them all out. And he's going to be signing a certificate of adoption of each one. And you can get a picture with Mattis and his Mattis Huggle Hound. For those who can't see the video, they're on our website, on our store at projectk9hero.org. So Mattis is going to be there. I mean, in the past, we've had a lot of artists come up like, hey, all my fans say I got to get a photo with Mattis, big stars and everything. Everyone's just talking about Mattis. So, yeah, he'll be there. And we got one special guest, and then K9 Dozer, who was paralyzed last August in Michigan, Grand Rapids, Michigan. His car got T-boned, and he couldn't walk, and he's starting to be able to walk again, but he's going to be there. And these are just amazing stories of dogs who served, like I said, and who's there to protect them? Well, we are.
Yeah, that's what's always got me with it. I can watch any movie in the world where a person gets injured and it doesn't bother me at all. You let one fucking dog get its toenail bit back.
Oh my God.
And I'm a crybaby. There's something about a dog that is not only man's best friend, it's like the friend we don't have. Like, it's just everything that we've never had in another person. And the fact that you came up with the organization to where it takes care of them family members. It's just my favorite fucking thing, dude.
Yeah, and not like I said, a lot of people say, well, Jason, doesn't the handler get to keep the dog? And we talked about this. Yeah, they do. And that's where that 90% is. But there's another 10% that can be euthanized otherwise. And, that's why we have the facility out here in Tennessee. And that's why we're here to make sure that, hey, just think about this as for the other veterans in the room. And, Stephen, what if we train soldiers and Marines to be so lethal that, hey, well, your time's up. You're not really fitting in with the public. We got to euthanize you now because you just don't fit in over there. You can't be out there mixed around with all these people. So that's what happens to these dogs, that they get to such a level that they're too aggressive. But we selected them to be that way. We trained them to be that way. We asked them to be that way. And when it comes time to retire, well, that's too much for the rest of the world. And now we have to do something. But we have a sanctuary here that we make sure that doesn't happen.
You said a lot right there, man. That's a firm analogy. A lot of times I felt like I didn't belong after I got out. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I was going to say this. I was going to say the same thing, man. I was going to say, as an 03 Marine, I know how the dogs feel. Like, you come back and you feel like maybe you should be euthanized because you don't fit in anywhere.
No.
Yeah.
That was a struggle. And it wasn't even lethality. It wasn't any sort of mental state that I was in. It was just a feeling of aloneness. And like I didn't, like, no one shared my opinions on things. No one shared my insight into things that we'd gone through. I couldn't necessarily just talk to, Joe Schmo, my next door neighbor, about what we'd encountered. So, you're away from everything that you knew that was normal. And a dog is so trusting. They're so, they just need, and like, I think that that's a beautiful thing, that if we could draw from that analogy of how much a dog needs, and if we put that much attention on how much these guys need coming back home too, everybody that gets out, you're exactly right. Help the veterans as absolute most as possible. And normally I talk a lot on these things, but everything that you guys are talking about is so right down the plate for me that I'm just so interested, and it's so serious. But I mean, it's lighthearted because you guys are having such a great time doing this, and I cannot wait to get more involved with all of this.
Yeah.
But
you should come up Thursday. I'll put you on the list, man.
Absolutely.
Be my guest.
Well, that's why Josh and I and Brooklyn, we're gonna try to do this live to raise some awareness and some money. But we won't be able to make it up on Thursday. But I really want to get involved with this, man. I love this stuff. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Hey, look,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's what I'm telling
Put
you.
February 29th on your calendars, guys. You guys can come out that. We'll treat y'all like kings and queens, man. We'll take care of you real
29th.
We can do February 29th.
I can do a
Yeah.
leap year. I can do that.
Yeah,
Dude. The guy that owns one of my buddies is a Marine that owns Whiskey Bent. And I thought he was fucking with me. Like I called him and I was like, hey man, I need some dates for country radio seminar to do our label launch. And he's like, yeah, dude, February 29th is all yours. And I was
How
like,
about, no, I don't know, man. How about March 32nd? I'm a little tight for that month.
exactly, right? And I just kept telling him, I'm like, dude, okay, seriously, I need a date. And he's like, yeah, man, February 29th. And I was like, look, man, I know I'm a Marine, but like I know dates. And he was like, dude, it's a leap year. And I was like, oh shit, man, I am a crayon eater, I guess.
Oh, God. Okay, I'll set aside your fake date. We'll look at it.
Yeah, we can definitely do that one. But what's cool to me is just the way Cam and Brooklyn, she's being a little quiet, but just the way you can
I'm
see
sorry.
both.
I'm like waiting on, I don't want to interrupt.
It's really interesting. It's like so interesting.
Yeah,
I normally
like-
find a place to
Yeah.
jump in.
I'm
but
right,
you
right,
guys are
right.
explaining this stuff so well. I
I'm
don't want to
just-
get in the way.
I try to
Same.
tell everybody that I do, like when I work with the organization, when I have them on the show or whatever, I am so picky. I don't like anybody. I think everybody's full of shit most of the fucking time.
Preach.
I think everybody's out for themselves most of the time. That when you find an organization like the ones that have been mentioned here tonight, especially Project K9 Hero, it's like you know that he's not full of shit. You know that the people that Jason surrounds himself with isn't full of shit. You see him making a difference. It's one of those things to where people ask me, hey, why do you want to take your time out to do shit like this? Raise money, raise awareness, drive people to the website, project9hero.org, by the way. Everybody, they got great gear you can go buy and shit too. Like, yeah, Steven's got some on. Everybody's got some on. It's when you hear the story and you hear the passion and you hear why. That's my thing. I'm a why guy. I don't want to hear you just say, oh, I started this organization. I want to hear why. And when you hear the passion behind you guys, it's like, oh, yeah, I'll run through a brick wall doing whatever I can to help, especially when there's not enough people that know about it. That's what
Right.
pisses me off. And like I told Jason this 100 times, you can have some big titty bitch on TikTok shaking her ass and get 20 million views on a video, but
Come on now.
but you post something to save a veteran or a military or law enforcement dog's life,
Cricket.
and it's cricket, and it's
Crickets.
fucking bullshit
Yep.
unless you have people that want to push the narrative.
Listen, man.
That's very true. I would like to hear Brooklyn's favorite story about a dog or a military police dog that she's ever met or encountered in her service.
Okay, I've never encountered anything to do with a police dog, but I do want to say that
That
I'm,
one time you
that-
went to jail.
well, we don't have to talk about that. No, I'm really excited to be here because I have wanted to find like a brand or a company or a nonprofit that's military related that I can start using to create content with because I am former military, but I've not found anything that I resonate with yet. I also wanted to ask you because you said it really fast in the beginning. You were talking about how you got started, what you like the money that you used to get started. I would like to know more about like what I guess like drew you that way. Like, did you work with dogs while you were in the military? Is that why you wanted to start it? Like, where did
Yeah, I can explain that real quick. So I started in 1993. I was an Army MP. Did a lot of field work and I did some stuff in Intel. I wanted to get out and become a police SWAT canine guy. I never had the opportunity to work with dogs while I was an MP. 93 to 98 just didn't offer as many opportunities then. It's just my age, I came in when I was 18. But I got out and went over to Tacoma, Washington area, City of Puyallup Police. Started working with the dogs at Tacoma Metro K9 when I was just 23 years old. I was the youngest police officer on the department. It was a great agency to work for, putting on the bite sleeve at 2 a.m., laying tracks, doing all that. But went over to Yakima PD, which is between Spokane there and Seattle. Again, I volunteered hundreds of hours of my time, and from 99 to 05, I volunteered as a Corey and running dogs and doing everything I could to create a position. My unit didn't have a narcotics canine position, and we got a new chief, and we started a interdiction program. There's a lot of meth and heroin and stuff up in Washington State at that time, and I was the youngest one to apply, and I got it. and ended up with 3,000 deployments, 2,200 finds with my dog Flash. She went on to be the Law Enforcement Dog of the Year in America in 2018 and on American Humane, and got recruited by Blackwater. A lot of you military guys know Blackwater. Steven does. I went to Iraq and Afghanistan as a dog handler for the U.S. ambassador. I did explosive detection. I was the primary dog handler used in Iraq in 2008 elections, and I was the primary dog handler used in 2009 elections in Afghanistan for Department of State, U.S. ambassador, stuff like that. We did everything the U.S. president down, Secretary of State, things of that nature. When I left Afghanistan, the end of 09, starting 2010, I got recruited and got a job at the ATF at the National Academy outside of D.C. And there, I trained over 2,000 dogs for the government. And we're talking FBI, CIA, Marshals, NGA, all branches of the military. I did their pre-deployment training in Yuma, Arizona before they went overseas. So all these dogs that went overseas, probably closer to Stephen's era, you know, and a little bit after Stephen's era, dogs I worked with, training them to find homemade explosives. Wanted to get out of that and get more operational. So in 2015, I went back to Homeland Security, and these dogs you see in the airport that sniff passengers for explosive. I was a field canine coordinator for that. Did like red team assessments and helped with their certification. We had 1,300 dogs underneath us at that time. I was a DC employee, but I was able to live back in Detroit, where I'm from. Kept an office at the Detroit airport, and became a person in the government that a dog handler would come to when it was time to retire. Maybe it was an injury, health issues, and I would physically take it out of service and sign it over to that handler, but I'd also remove it from financial responsibility of the government. I actually did that myself. And I thought to myself, that doesn't seem right. Here are these dogs working as hard as they can, and here I am taking them out of service and giving them to their handler, but we're not going to pay any bills. So I thought I was going to, make a change. I wanted to be someone who was able to really identify what the problem was, be able to speak about it at the highest level possible, and implement a program to make sure these dogs are taken care of. So that's when I took the $500 in my pocket while still a government employee. That was in March of 16. I stayed in the government to 17, January 17, because I'll tell anybody who wants to run a nonprofit, it's never going to get to the levels you want to get unless you treat it like a business full time. If you just have all volunteers and do part time, it'll always be that way. But you want to take it to a 5 million and a 10 million and 20 million, the largest in the world, like I want to do with mine. And we're almost there right now anyway. You got to have a staff. You got to have full-time people backing you. You got to have a marketing director, fundraising director, director of facilities, program services, graphic artists, all these things now. And that's how we do as much as we do. I talked about 40 sponsors for Performers for Paws, over 6 figures raised before we start. We have over 130 corporations we work with. We work on grants. I had a bill in Congress called the Canine Hero Act in 2019. I'm getting ready to re-release. So all these things happened because of that. And it never really would have happened if I wouldn't have quit my job, followed my passion, and chased my dreams. And you got to think, at the time I was 41 years old. I was a GS 13 equivalent, GS 14 equivalent type employee. So that's equivalent, as military people, that's equivalent to a lieutenant colonel, a colonel. Full-time retirement, full-time pension, deferred compensation package, leave. Well, I don't have any of that stuff anymore. I walked away from all those guarantees in my life so I could do this. And that's why we work on it 7 days a week. And that's why we give it as much as we can, because there's no plan B for me. And if someone wants to start a nonprofit and do that, I would express to them, it's got to be your passion. If it's not going to be successful. You can't have a plan B. You can't do it part-time. It's got to be full-time, and it's got to be all you got to live and breathe it, like Josh knows I do and Stephen knows I do every day. So that's how I got into it. And that's what's made us successful.
Thank you for sharing. Did you say that you were 41 when you started the nonprofit?
Yes. So it would have been March of 16. Yeah, I was born 75. So yep.
Well, yeah, I just love that, because I feel like a lot of the times people feel like they're too old or it's too late to start a nonprofit,
Yes.
chase your dreams, start the business.
Yeah. Let me talk about that real quick, because a lot of people would have just stayed in the
Yeah.
government. They would have stayed in the government and got that retirement, and that wasn't my style. And I would also say at no time before that age was I ready to do this. And I'm talking about building a Rolodex. I'm talking about meeting all the people that I've met over the years, like Steven and Uncle Travis we talked about. You need to know all these people, because every opportunity that comes our way, personal connections. That's how I know all you guys already. I know Steven from a personal connection I made. I know Josh from a personal connection from a Hasten Lot who owns the Live Oak, who introduced us. And me and Steven make a living on introducing people to each other. A group text all day. He's just got me on a podcast back home in Michigan, So everything's a personal connection. And I wasn't ready until I was that age. If I tried it at 27, 29, no chance. We would have failed.
Why?
When I met him in a bathroom, I thought it was going to be a whole kind of different personal connection, to be honest. Though.
Why? Because I didn't have the know-how or the knowledge. And, I hadn't met enough people in my life to get me where I wanted to go. To do at the level that I'm doing at, now we can pick up the phone and we can make these calls and we can line things up. But I didn't have the availability at that age. I hadn't traveled enough. I hadn't met enough people. I hadn't put my name out there enough. But now we're there.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in you don't know what you are supposed to do until you actually get there. Like, I think everything that you do is preparing you for your forever job, the thing that you're going to be passionate about, the thing that you actually want to get up and work and grind for every day. But you don't know what that's going to be until it's on you. And there's too many people that want to say, oh, I'm 25. I got to know what I'm going to do the rest of my life. And that's not the fucking case. I didn't start doing radio till I was 30. I didn't start the show until I was 34, I guess. I'll be 36 this year. So, like, you just don't know. But when that thing gets put in your plate that you're passionate about, and that's what you're supposed to be doing, it's obvious to you every single day that everything I've been through was for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I thought I wanted to be a SWAT canine handler my whole life. And I was a SWAT operator and canine guy. And by the time I got 33, I was like, okay, maybe I should do something more now. And, but up until that point, I had never given another thought of another career. Most people, when they get in that position in life, they would, especially when you get in the position I was in the U.S. government, where like I was the lead instructor of the ATF Academy or working in Homeland, nobody ever quits those jobs. That's unheard of to quit a lifetime job like that. If I was still in, I'd probably be up the Pentagon, senior executive service or something. But hey, it's funny, and Stephen will know this, and maybe Cam in Brooklyn too, but the government calls me a lot more now that I'm out of the government than when I was ever in. And they call me for help. And hey, can you come speak at this? And can you help with our programs? And hey, we have a thing. Can you be the guest speaker? And because I'm out there helping their dogs and they see what I'm doing. And they can't do it because their hands are tied because they're still in the government. Well, I had to quit the government to do this. No way it's my job to go out there and speak the truth. So I'm able to tell the truth now. I'm able to tell what happens to these dogs in retirement. I can tell how they get euthanized. I can tell the real stories that the government's afraid to tell the public. That's my job. That's what people donate to my organization for me to be the voice for the voiceless. So, it's just an honor for me to be able to do that. And again, going back to what Brooklyn asked, I didn't have enough connections to get all those calls like I do now, but it's nothing for agencies like CIA, NSA, or any of those units to call me up for help. And I'm honored. I'm 100% honored that they know, hey, call Jason. He can help.
Well, you keep that in mind when I call you and I need a speeding ticket or something.
I can't help you at that.
You can figure something out to get one erased. You done help some dog somewhere. Yeah. Like, you know what? I got a buddy. He's got a shitty criminal record. Let's get some of his shit off there.
And Josh is a dog. Don't get it twisted.
Well, Stephen, real fast before we get off here, since we got another minute or two, tell them about where they can make donations, everything to your organization. Once again, go check out projectk9hero.org. Merchandise, donations. The event is this Thursday, the 27th.
25th.
25th.
Yep.
Because I have an event the 27th. That's why I'm stupid. 25th at Nashville Palace. Go online. Please check all that kind of stuff out. Please follow more than anything. Follow Project K9 Hero on all platforms. Share their stuff. Become a fan of their stuff. I'm telling you, once you start reading the stories that Jason and his team posts, you'll want to be more active with Project K9 Hero, just like everyone over here.
Yeah, man. With Stop 22, we don't take donations. It's really just a thing to get our veterans that are singer-songwriters out there and in front of people. We fall underneath the Romans Warrior Foundation umbrella, which is what takes the global war on terror wall around the United States. And that does move on donations. So I just ask everybody out there to please go check out Romans Warrior Foundation. Project K9 Hero is where we need to direct our attention right now. I mean, he's moving at the speed of light, man. And I don't think I could be any more proud to watch Jason do what he's do. I was in Michigan. I got up at 6 a.m. just to watch him on Good Morning America, and I'm taking videos of it and Snapchats. I sat at the red light for 5 seconds past that was green, trying to catch the billboard changing for a project so I could take a picture and send it to him. So I'm just proud, man. I'm proud to watch him do this because I know a lot of people are getting so much out of it. So please, everybody, go give your donations to the Wall and Project K9 Hero. And hopefully when you get the Wall and Project K9 Hero out there, Stop 22 will come with it.
Well, do y'all two have anything else y'all want to ask them or say before we get off here?
I have one more question. If
Yes, ma'am.
you could tell like anyone that was younger, because you said you were young, you didn't have the connections, that was why it didn't work. So if you could give a piece of advice to someone that's young and they want to start a nonprofit, chase a dream, what would be your advice?
Yeah, I think education and work experience is important, but I have a few things that I live by, and this will take you a long way. Treat every person that you meet like they can change your life forever. Every person. I don't care if that's at the gas station, a janitor. I met Steven in the bathroom at Zany's 11 years ago, and here we are today. Meet every person you meet like they can change your life forever. Show them that respect, and I think that'll go a long way. And you know, in this business, we meet a lot of people who just blow us off. They don't have the time for us. They're too good for us. They don't know who we are. You know, they don't know what we've been through. They don't know we served in Iraq and Afghanistan or in the government or the police and all the things we've done. They don't know anything about us. But you know, if you can have that open mind and just be open minded with everything, and then surround yourself with people who are as driven as you are, but who are smarter and just as passionate, and that will help too. Because it takes a team, it takes a tribe. Steven knows this, and I know this. I started it by myself, but we didn't get to this level by myself. And I surround myself with some of the best people in the world, and that's what helps. That's what helps really drive it home. So those are my two pieces of advice for anyone listening out there. It never burn bridges. I think this generation, there's a new generation that thinks burning bridges and ghosting people, that's okay. Like that's, you know, hey, just don't ever call them back. You know, if you owe somebody a response, if you owe someone an email, a text, now a cold call, that's different, right? But if you're working with somebody, you owe them something, follow up with that. And the whole follow up and be personable, I think, is what helps me so much. You know, hey, you know, me and Josh and me and Steven, we talk all the time, but hey, we all got lives and shows and business to do. If I don't hear from Josh that minute, he'll get back with me by that night. Same with Steven. Steven called me. I might not be able to answer the phone, but I'll get back with him that day. And, you know, we'll talk about what we got to talk about. And I feel so many people in this world don't do that. And I'll give you an example. As fundraising is hard as can be, fundraising is so difficult. Over the weekend, I still needed about 8,000 to reach my 100,000 goal for this nonprofit coming up. We surpassed it this morning, and I reached out to 40 partners and business owners that I know personally, personal cell phone. I said, hey, you know, we got it coming up. You still interested in being a sponsor? Here's the level. Here's the link. Out of 40 text messages, 26 never responded to me. 14 did respond to me, and 2 follow through. So I had to send 40 for 2 to follow through. Those are accurate numbers. That's realistic.
The numbers.
So, you know, but these are people I know. This wasn't a cold call. These are people I know personally. You know what I mean? So that's, if you're going to be in this business too, don't take no for an answer. I mean, for me, I have to hear 100 no's for every yes. Just like we're asking for big name artists to join the show.
Yeah.
I might as well get used to 100 no's for every yes.
I'm like,
Sponsors.
have you read the book Go for No? Because it sounds like straight out of that book.
Yeah.
Would you know that I'm so busy? I write some books, but I really don't. I hate to say it. I don't have time to read any books.
Well, you just sounded like straight out of that book.
That's okay. I can't read.
That's what it talks about.
Yeah.
It says that
I'm
again.
dyslexic as shit. I don't like that.
But I hope that helps. I hope that helps. And, you know, guys like Steve and I are here to help other veterans find their way. I mean, you know, it's, again, veterans helping veterans. It's important to us. If we can succeed and help each other, you know, it's important to me. And the great thing about Project K9 Hero, and I do want to put this out because we talk about helping the dogs, but remember, every dog has an owner, except for the ones we have here. Those are veterans. Those are first responders. Those are government employees. They served in the Marines, the Air Force, the Navy, the Army. And so every time we help pay a $5,000 dog bill, that's taking mental stress and a relief off that veteran or first responder that could have led to a mental issue, a suicide issue, problems at home, problems with their family, all kinds of things. So we're more than a dog organization. You know, I know Steven had a service dog that he cared for deeply, Semper. And, you know, a lot of these veterans are closer to their dogs than they are their family. And when our organization can step in and save their life and pay for cancer treatments that they could never afford, you can only imagine the relief that comes off them. And that's stuff that could have led to the 22 a day. And that's stuff that could have led to home problems and family problems. So Project Canine Hero encompasses all of that.
Dude, I just love it. Anytime that we can have you, Steven, any organizations like this on the show, that is what this is for. Like, I know there's a lot of, I'm not trying to toot my own horn when I say this either. I just think you prioritize what's right, morals over money and shit. Like, I don't care if it's not a flashy clickbait or whatever, having y'all on the show, it's what's right. If you're having to put y'all out there and get y'all in touch with the people that's in my world that have y'all be out there more to make the platform bigger. That's what we're supposed to be doing with this shit. We're not supposed to be pushing stupid fucking assholes day in and day out that are just drama filled, just dumbasses. This is the kind of stuff that needs to be out there. This ought to be the stuff that gets millions of views every time. And I'm not talking about the podcast. I'm talking about your organizations. Like, every time you post something, there ought to be a million people looking at everything you do. And the fact that there isn't is a crime, but we'll get there one day. That's why we do this. Is why we network. That's why we push and have great people like Brooklyn and Cam come in to do a show with you guys. That way there's just more. We build into their audience. So I just want to thank both of you guys for coming on for a little bit. I hate that we're not going to make it on the 27th or 25th. Please don't freeze your ass off. Avoid some of that snow and ice up there. And if y'all got anything y'all want to say real fast before we get off here, we'll get done with it and we'll post this tomorrow morning, and we'll get and by the way, Steven, whenever your event gets closer to time, I know you said it was the 29th of February.
Fake date.
Hit me up and we'll do a show like a week or so before, just to drive more people to it as well.
Yep.
That's great. And man, I know I said I couldn't be there on the 7th, but anything that you need from me in the future, if I can be there, bro, I'll be there.
Well, we do our Raising Grace rounds at Live Oak once a month, and I was just going to invite you to come play some songs.
Okay. Yeah, man. Well, hey, the next time it's available, I'll be there.
All right, cool. We'll line it up for you, brother.
Yeah.
Well, cool. All right, folks. Well, thank Kim and Brooklyn and Steven and Jason. Please go look at their organizations. Once again, the 25th, Nashville Palace, Nashville, Tennessee, Project Canine Hero, Performance for Paws. Go check out projectcaninehero.org, buy some merch, make a donation, all that good shit. You're not going to find a better organization out there. Thank y'all for listening to the Josh Terry podcast. We will catch y'all later.